It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day, and we are in Escondido at the Bennett property. You probably recognize this from last spring, and the client is having a new patio installed. So they called us out to move some plants around. I can't wait to show you. This is all going to be paver. And remember our cactus colony that we did? Well, they agonized over whether to leave it or to not or whatever, and they decided that this is prime real estate for their patio. So all of these plants and rocks are going to be rehomed in other areas of the garden, and it's just so fun and exciting. I can't wait to get started. All right, so mission accomplished. We thought, in addition to showing you, where we put the barrels and the trichechii that was in that raised planter, we'd show you the rest. Now, we haven't been here to do a maintenance yet, and our client has been very vigilant about pulling weeds. These weeds that you see here now have just popped up after we got some rain, and then it was warm, so they're about a week old. It was so hard for me not to. Okay, I did pull a lot of them, but gosh darn it, we weren't here for that today. We won't be back until, depending on how the weather goes in December, January, and February. If it rains a lot, I'll be here sooner. If it doesn't, it might be March. But you can kind of see how things have grown in. It's been 8-9 months.
Look at this, Mom. Show them this.
Since we did this install.
Look at this, stem. It has all the babies coming off of it. See that?
Aw, yeah. Look at that. So, yes, that is one way to prune crassula. If you don't mind looking at a wound for months at a time, you can absolutely just hack it down. It will come back. I'm just not a fan of that look, which is why I like to take the top, pull out the stem and the roots and set the top back. But yes, this is just happy. This view is so beautiful, and they get such a nice breeze blowing in from the west all the time. This is going to be a covered patio. They're going to do a pony wall along the edge, I think about 2 feet high. And then she's going to want a lot of pot stage. So I'll be back for that. Meanwhile, this is going to be in part shade, because where these stakes are is where how far out the cover is coming. But I think these cacti will be fine because they get a tremendous amount of bright light, even when they're covered. These pots that you see here, these were just bromeliads and whatnot that she pulled out of the little planter that we had along the house. These will get restaged after the patio goes in. Look at the Trichechii. Doesn't that look magnificent there? It just, because that's going to get big. It's going to get 50 feet tall or more maybe. And this jade rock, the Oro Verde jade that was in the other bed that we demoed, I decided to put it here. There was another rock here, and I'll show you where we put it. But her kitchen window is right behind Hannah. So I feel like she can look out and see this rock all the time. I think she's going to be very, very delighted. The rock that was here, which was also really beautiful, we moved right here. And I am super duper happy with it. You will probably note that there's weird green stuff in the barrel cactus. We went through also and doused all of the barrels and the aloes and the agaves with bare tree and shrub liquid systemic, just to ward off snout weevil, aloe mite, scale, mealy, any other thing that can happen this winter. I had some ideas when we come back in the spring. This pot oak Cameronii, I'm going to deconstruct, and I'm going to put a Mangave Mission to Mars that we have in a pot, a smaller pot in this bigger pot. That's very exciting. You will note that we scattered that rock and barrels just all throughout this landscape. You can't really tell. It just looks fuller and lusher and fluffier, which was the goal. Keep an eye, for this. I'm very interested to see what happens with this aloe plicatillus. We treated it with the bare tree and shrub. There were tons of eggs under the underside of a lot of the leaves. So I'm not sure what, has infested that, and I don't know if it'll make it. But we did treat it, and we're going to hope for the best. And I think this is ink blot. This Mangave. Is this cherry? No, you're right. This is cherry chocolate chip. Ink blot hadn't come out yet when we did this. I am so delighted with how this plant has spread. I did not know it would do that, but it's very, very cool. The one that sits right here, when we come back in the spring, I'm going to swap the brevifolia and put it here and put this cherry chocolate chip in that spot because it is kind of crowding the hardscape. I don't love that. Oh, have you ever seen a fluffier Petalanthus bracteatus in all your days? It's so fluffy. I just can't get over it. It's so cool. And the aloe, we have a couple of big aloe ferox in this garden, and they did not set bloom this year. Kind of like mine, and my garden didn't set bloom last year. So hopefully next year we'll get to see who the baby daddy is. Okay. Then out yonder here, we have Kevin and Mel working on finishing up, staging all the little rubble rocks. We added 3 barrel cactus into this bed here, the plumeria bed. Remember, we put those plumeria in as cuttings, and they have rooted beautifully. We also had a casualty with this Pilosoceras. It had fallen over, looked a little bit rotted, but it hardened off nicely, so we just replanted it, and that's another one. We're just going to hope for the best. Here's all the demo from the patio. Yeah, look at this cherry chocolate chip. Woo-wee! I think I planted 3 here. I'll know better next year, or next time. Then this Pachypodium lemerii is giving me life. Isn't that stunning? Just so pretty, that quadruple head. So beautiful. And I've got a couple of snow leopards in here too. One of the snow leopard in the back will end up somewhere else. Did we figure out what this was?
No.
Yeah, there was some white things all over this mammillaria.
Ooh.
Are they moving? I can't tell what it is. But because we weren't sure, we just doused it with bare tree and shrub. So definitely don't want to lose that beautiful creature. And yeah, so up in here, we added a trio of barrel cactus and a bunch more rock and rubble.
I had come and
Oh yeah.
fix this, but I think it's too hot of a spot. It just limped over again.
This euphorbia, is this a euphorbia?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It had fallen over, right?
I had a feeling it was probably gonna. No,
She ain't happy.
Mm-mm.
No. She's
I think it got way too hot and like.
yeah, maybe way too hot, but it's really weak at this joint. So,
Because I came to the saws, this was taller.
yeah, it was way taller, and Hannah cut it and reset it. See this? It just isn't holding up its own weight. So, it could be staked, but I'm not a fan of doing that. Survival of the fittest. I don't like the look of a stake. But what we will probably end up doing when we come back in the spring, we are going to have so many plants. We'll find something else to put in this pot. Because, yeah, I don't think this girl's going to make it. Okay. We love our Palo Verde Desert Museums are doing very, very well. Very happy with their growth. Let's see, did we look over here at this side? Yeah. You know, there's not a whole lot of plants up there, but we were able to mound so strategically and stage so many boulders, and it just wow, it just looks so good. So happy with this. See, this is normal. This is what an Aluaudia procera does for one of two reasons. It's either not getting enough water. If yours drops all of its leaves and the weather is warm, it means you need to throw some water on it. If the weather starts to cool or dip, it will often drop its leaves. So be mindful. Just because it's lost its leaves does not necessarily mean it needs water. If the temperatures are cold, it's just dormant. And if you water it when it's dormant, it will rot. You can see that we had a cold snap and then it heated up, so we've got all kinds of new baby leaves all over these trunks. So this may just flush out in more growth before the cold really comes. And when we come back in the spring, we'll probably cull some of the branches depending on what it decides to do to keep it under control. Cute. It's a camellia. All right, so we had a blast. So much fun. Like I said, it's so hard to stop working, but alas, it is time to clean up and get on with it. So thanks for joining. This has been Laura Eubanks with Hannah, Kevin, and Mel in Escondido with your succulent tip of the day. Bye, guys.